51-point fourth quarter. What kind of rhythm, what kind of groove do you feel like you guys found?
Yeah, when I first got in there in that third quarter, felt like we were trying to move the ball, get it going side to side, play a little bit 5 out, and no pun intended, but they're long and athletic. So ultimately, sometimes you have to attack that length and athleticism with a little bit of pressure on your own. And so, fortunately, they had a big fella in there. He was in the drop quite a bit, and QP provides another weapon for us behind the three-point line. So, ultimately, try to be a guy that gets us moving side to side, get guys involved. But felt like when I got back in there in the fourth, in order to keep the momentum going that those guys built, quite frankly, Will, LJ, those guys that were in there, in order to keep it going, we felt like we had to alleviate some of that ball pressure with the high ball screen and get downhill a little bit, and then obviously utilize QP shooting the rock.
And to follow up on that, as it pertains to QP in particular, what kind of rhythm, what kind of groove did you guys get in, running, pick, and pop, and just what have you seen from him throughout the course of camp?
Yeah, I think when he gets in there, he knows he's got the green light to let it go, and so very easy to play with a guy who's got a great feel for the game. Their big fellow was pretty comfortable back there in the drop, but I don't think he wanted to play on the perimeter very much. And so, great ball screen from the big fella, and then get downhill, utilize my strength that way. But, they were pursuing the ball. They didn't break it off and read or switch, and so kind of left QP wide open at the top of the key quite a few times, and pretty good rhythm. Quite frankly, I threw one a little bit low, kind of at his ankles. He picked it up and still knocked it down.
Pat, throughout camp, what have you noticed from Will Richard as someone who seems to just love to hound defensively?
Yeah, competitor, and quite frankly came in here wanting to learn, which is pretty cool. Obviously, you've got some really good guys to learn from, but he's been kind of a sponge the entire training camp, and incredible attitude. You can tell he just loves the game, loves good people, and so, happy to have him on board and excited to see him grow.
What have you seen from LJ Cryer in training camp? I mean, are you surprised by what he did in this fourth quarter, or is this something he's been doing for the last few weeks?
No, he's been doing that all the way back to his college days. I think for him, smart kid, so he's trying to figure out how to pick his spots. Ultimately, can shoot the cover off the ball. Would love to have him up here for some games, but if he plays down in the G League, he's going to light it up. So can shoot the cover off of it. High IQ guy, really wants to make the right basketball play, which at times is going to be him scoring the ball, which you saw tonight. So in camp, when you got a guy like number 30 on your team, you probably lean towards finding him to knock down open jumpers, but LJ's going to have an opportunity to grow as a player and utilize his strengths, as you saw tonight.
It looked like Steve was coaching you guys pretty hard in that fourth quarter and taking the game really seriously. What sort of conversations was he having with you guys in the huddle there?
Yeah, I think he just wants us to play as hard as we can, get some good film together. Obviously, the preseason is about learning for everybody, and so if we can put some good tape together, that'll help the starters, that'll help the guys that are coming in during the regular season. That's what it's all about. So Steve's always been that way. He doesn't quit after halftime when the main guys shut it down. He wants to coach each individual and help them be the best they can be, which is pretty cool.
From your perspective, what did you see in the first half from your teammates? How did you diagnose what went wrong?
Yeah. I think our guard-to-guard action defensively was pretty rough. Quite frankly, we're going to see a lot of that. The league is heading there quite a bit. OKC, the high-level team, tend to have a lot of guard-to-guard action. So for us, it's about getting pretty dialed in on our principles, how we want to cover that. I felt like we gave them a little bit too much comfortability with the rock in their hands. They were pretty comfortable. I thought Shaden Sharp kind of got to wherever the heck he wanted the whole night. So for us, it's about personnel a little bit more. I think they've got a few guys that don't handle as well, or quite frankly, don't want to handle. Probably should have gotten the ball in their hands a little bit more. Been up off the baselines a bit more. I think they flattened us out quite a bit. So, and they made shots. It felt like they were making all their threes pretty early on. So, we've got to find a way to balance our aggression on the ball and picking our spots a little bit more. But full confidence in our staff that we'll get something together here.